Whoa, the new gym looks awesome.
Yeah, this looks great, but that looks awful.
What do you mean?
Yeah, this is a fancy gym for fancy people, and that's not gonna work.
What am I supposed to wear?
Not my problem, just figure it out.
This is ridiculous.
Where's your best looking rep ever? This video is going to follow the same pattern as our gym renovation, which essentially means it's going to be pieced together whenever I get a free minute. What I've done is moved everything around. Literally everything in the gym has been or will be moved, and we've added about 200 square feet of space. The problem with that is I have a family and a full-time job, so finding free time essentially means working myself into the ground. Not that I'm complaining, I'm super excited and truly grateful for all of your support, which has gotten us here to this point. What we've done is we've expanded into that back bay there and moved everything around in the gym. So in this video, rather than you getting to stare at my cute face for the entire time, I'll time-lapse most of it while I talk over the clips and explain what I've done in order it was completed. Now, it's not quite done yet, so this isn't the final result, but hopefully by the end, either the gym is mostly complete, or the last clip will just be me crying in the corner. Either way, follow along and let's see how it goes. And then when the dust settles and I finally get everything fully set up, we'll do a gym tour down the road. So let's get started. We'll start this renovation with a little light cleaning, which is really me moving things around to only have to move them out of the way again later. It's not effective, but it is a solution, just one without much thought behind it. Now all of this is me preparing for what I think is the biggest part of this gym addition, and that is lighting. And we're going to be adding a ton of it. Here I'm using a laser to align the light's positioning. I decided to lay on the ground to see better, but you'd be surprised how long I laid on the cold concrete debating the decisions that got me here. You can't see it, but I disappear for like 25 minutes to make a template so I can cut space in the polyiso insulation to fit the lighting cans in. I also just mostly sit in the kitchen eating snacks, trying to delay the inevitable. That is, putting up 28 more lights, bringing my total to 42. Overkill? Sure, but I figured overlight and dim if needed, and this is more for filming purposes versus practical. My reward for a few hours of work? Foam and fiberglass, both of which clean up really easily. After all that, I put up the cans, and remember, of course, I do this for 3 more rows of lights. It's a lot of fun. I do wire most of these myself, but right as I'm losing steam, because I've been at this for about 8 hours, Winnie comes in after work and wires some lights too. So for those keeping track at home, not only does she lift with me and encourage my terrible ideas like starting a YouTube channel, she also helps me with literally everything. And that's her garage bay she gave up for the channel. So yeah, she's a keeper. Which is probably why in the comments she seems to have more fans than me. Also, if it's hard to tell, I'm definitely wiring faster than her. Don't check the tape because it looks like she's keeping up, but she's not. Okay, you get the idea. Let's move on. Now I bring some help in to do the majority of the big moves. The functional trainer, the platform, dumbbells, and the rack, which you can see the new rack sitting on the floor there, and we have to move all the new stall mats. Did you know when you create a home gym, all your freeloading friends want to work out with you? Well, this is my payback. Actually, you know when you have a really dumb idea and you know it's dumb, but you do it anyway? Fully knowing it's probably the worst and hardest solution? Yeah, well that's this. We know we should take it apart. That's the discussion going on right now. But for some reason, okay, the truth is, it's my fault. I say somewhere in here, listen guys, we can move this thing. I moved it into place on my own. That part's true, I did. What I forgot until about an hour from now is that even though I did place it on my own, I did it when it was in pieces. Ah, this part, when it won't move, and Ilya, he's the one in the white there. You might remember him from when he failed the cake check challenge. You know, that dumb short with over 70,000 views we made. Anyway, that's him there, and he realizes it's not moving because it's stuck on that support up there. Once we resolve that, it goes really smoothly and easily. It definitely doesn't get stuck other places, and the next 18 feet go really well. Somewhere along the way, Winnie once again gets home from work and helps out. Listen, the fact that we removed the stall mats to reduce the friction, thus moving this thing really easily, has nothing to do with her. I know, nobody believes me, but that was my idea. She was just as much a part of this thing getting stuck again, this time on a rafter, as the rest of us. Anyway, now that we only have like 12 feet left to move it, we set up some stall mats so we can feel like we accomplished something. This is the most exciting part for me, and my mood is flying high. But don't worry, it doesn't last. But it's nice to see some progress and things coming together. Let's take a break from the cable machine for a minute to move the rack. Don't worry, we'll come back later with the car jack and set it in place. That's not a joke, that's what we actually do. My plan with the rack is to place it where I think I want the new rack to go so I can test out the new spot before installing the new one. So we break it in half, the back and the front, in an attempt to save some time with the move and reassembly. It goes pretty well, except that we look a bit silly moving it the way we did. But even with all that, Winnie somehow manages to catch it all on video, which is impressive considering how klutzy she is. The best part here is we fully reassemble it and put the plates back on before remembering the mirror needs to be moved and put behind it. So we then have to strip the weights off and move the rack out of the way. Where's the footage of the mirror install? It was Winnie's job to set the camera for those 2 shots, and when I ask her about the camera, she says, "I set it up." And all of us look over to see the camera facing the opposite wall. It's not the only time during this move I wish I had recorded audio. A mistake I rectify later. Back to the cable machine. The whole reason this took 7 hours and not 2. The move actually goes nice and smooth from here, that is until we have to get the machine back up onto the stall mats, but that's where we finally decide to use some thought. But first, we have to put in a few more stall mats so we can feel like we're progressing again. We're working on the back section of the gym here. This is where the rack and platform used to be, as indicated by the mostly insulated unfinished door that is the backdrop of my channel for over a year. So thanks for putting up with that for so long. You know what the hardest part of editing this video is? People doing weird things to the camera, cutting out the countless shots of people blocking the camera or us just forgetting the camera's on, and trying not to have every single shot just be a shot of Winnie's butt, which is an oddly common phenomenon. Now it's time to cut a mat to fit around the post. I'm pretty good at cutting stall mats now because I've done it so much. If you're thinking, wow, listen to this arrogant prick, let me clarify. I'm pretty good at cutting them because every time I do, I try to make the cuts way too tight and it never works, so I have to make the cut again. And to make things worse here, I couldn't find my shorter blade in the mess I created in the gym, so I used this monster blade and decide, rather than be intelligent, I'll just stick this mat on these stacked 2x4s. Clearly my friends are so sick of my shit by now that they don't care if I cut my hand off. Can't say I blame them. Anyway, like I said, I'm pretty good at cutting these and it fits perfectly. Let's quickly watch Winnie trying to play off almost falling before returning to the final move of the cable machine. This is also where I record audio, so enjoy this.
Yeah, we pulled this off one try, we all get ice cream cake, one slice.
You can
I will
get
buy
a full ice cream
a
cake.
big ice cream cake.
I can do it all myself.
Well, you can do it on itself, but
So we're just here to like feel like we're doing something?
No, yeah, but
Cool,
and
cool.
I'll
I can do that.
actually help him out.
No, don't help me.
Okay.
Okay.
So Austin's
All
got it, right?
All right.
one.
I'm slipping.
Keep it up.
You put it on the thing. Put it below it.
You want to set it down and have me?
No, we're not sitting again. No.
What's this one attempt?
It's slipping.
I won't come.
You can't get it to come, guys. Come on. What's that? The whole gym took like what, 20 minutes?
3, 2, 1.
Yay!
That's a great yank.
3, 2, 1. Drop. I like can't get over how good this is.
Maybe the tiniest hole.
1, 2, 3.
You guys are getting greedy now.
From here it's all exciting, but mostly smaller stuff. I won't cover it all because, well, it's not all done, but also you can only watch someone rearrange and hang so many things. I removed most of my wall controls, starting with what used to be on the sides of my rack, and placed those 4 smaller panels together this time on the right side of my rack. Then I start arranging items, but it's not the final placement of items, but I really need everything out of the gym or up on the wall for the sheetrock, which comes this weekend. Anyone doing the math on those boxes and all the stuff I have probably just realized a full gym, excluding the rack, cable machine, and dumbbells, is about to get moved into my house temporarily. So that should be fun. Before we get to the showing the almost kinda sorta, as far as we're getting in this video, final results, I'll show one of the new spaces for barbell storage. These are 2 Rogue 6-bar gun racks with plastic to protect the bars. Except they didn't send the other set of plastic, so we're doing the best we can at the moment. Also, if you can't tell, I'm doing this between sets, but it's chest day, and ain't nothing slowing me down on bench press. The last thing I'll show before the big reveal is the hanging of the barbells, or at least as many as they can get up there without the plastic. Someone's gonna say you can only use 1 bar at a time, or something like that in the comments, but they're just in stage 1 of the 7 stages of grief. Home gym ownership, shock and denial. Am I putting that Amazon bar up there? Now for our final look at the gym, that is, at least before the eventual big reveal when we do our next gym tour. I've had to remove as much as I can in here in preparation for sheetrock, and while it looks great in here, my basement looks awful. I've still got a lot of storage and equipment to get installed, but for the sake of my sanity and actually sleeping for a night, this is where we're at. As a bonus, Winnie says if I can get this channel to go full time, I can take over the entire gym. So you guys know the deal. Like, comment, and subscribe, and share our content so that I can pursue that dream. As always, thank you so much for watching and for your support. Without you guys, I never would have gotten here.